it's a pleasure to bring back with our, good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
With our community spotlight. This is Scott Ramsey from the aforementioned Salvation Army. Good to have you here.
Thank you very much.
This is very festive. I feel like every year when I see you, it's in this kind of a setting. So
last year it was a Zoom call in our toy shop.
Yes, it was not near as fun.
No,
we're actually
this is much better, yes.
We're actually face-to-face now. Well, let's talk about that. I'm sure that Salvation Army was deeply impacted by the pandemic. Isn't it good to get back out and ring the bell?
We were out. We were limited. We were limited in what we could do, but the community and the Mesa community especially supported us tremendously, as they really have all through the years, but even better really during the pandemic. And so last year it was more than 900 families that we were able to serve. Didn't have as many kettle spots, but the response from the community matched really what we'd been done in the previous years.
Well, you mentioned the kettle. Tell us a little bit about that. I'm going to put this right here. This is the...
They're not all that big.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is the kettle that everybody recognizes.
Yeah, if we could fill that one.
Tell us all about how that happened.
Oh, in 1891, a captain in San Francisco wanted to do a community meal for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Didn't know how he would fundraise. Realized there had been people on the docks that would try to raise funds, and so he put a kettle pot on, and the sign was keep the pot boiling, and so 1891 was the start of our Christmas kettle program, and it really caught fire. It only took, I think, about 5 years before it got all the way to back east.
That's awesome.
In doing it. So it is kind of an American tradition. Salvation Army is in 131 countries, but mostly it's Canada and America where we have the red kettle.
And speaking of the red kettle, you never see a red kettle without volunteers.
Well, volunteers are a real big part of it, but also, too, we do provide employment. We have about 42 people that are employed ringing the bell. Can't cover all the spots that we have to with volunteers, but volunteers will do triple, really, what one of my best ringers will do.
Wow, that's amazing. Speaking of volunteers, if there's somebody watching this now and they think, that's a great cause, I'm going to be a part of it, what's the course of action?
Oh, that would be just call the Salvation Army office and to be able to say, hey, you could pick the spot, you could pick the time. We'll meet you there with a bell and apron and the bucket, and you're off and running.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I understand. Let's tell us a little bit about you, the man behind the uniform and the kettle. You enjoy coaching youth sports, I understand.
Well, I don't coach, I officiate. I'm on the other side.
Oh, you're the guy that all the coaches yell at.
Yes. So that's my outlet. So I don't get yelled at enough at the Salvation Army. I go and get yelled at on
What
fields.
sports do you officiate?
Over the years, I've done football, basketball, and girls fast pitch. Down here in Arizona, I have left off football because I don't think as a Washingtonian for all those years I could be running on a football field when it's still 90 degrees here in September.
Well, the good thing about officiating basketball is you get the striped shirt, and then you can go right from the game and go to your part-time job at Foot Locker.
Yes.
So that's just
wherever we could help.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that was a feeble attempt at humor, but it's a very serious time of year for you guys. Keep up the good work. Thanks for all you do. Any idea how many families you're going to help this year? Is there a goal?
We have done, actually, the pandemic has made us go online, which has been interesting, people applying, but they could also come in and apply for help. We are already over 700 families that we'll be helping, so we're pushing toward that 900 that we did last year. Thanksgiving, we were able to serve 500 families with food, and we served another 460 families with a hot meal on Thanksgiving Day.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Well, one of the great things about holidays is tradition. There's traditions like trees and ornaments and gifts and Santa Claus. And a great tradition is you always know Salvation Army is going to be there doing some heavy lifting and doing some great things. So thank you so much for taking time out of it. Go ring a bell. Thanks so much for coming by.
I will.
Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you next year.
All right.
Thanks again. That's Mr. Scott Ramsey.